Hi, I'm Lily Dash. I'm the CEO and founder of VillaBound, a global villa rental agency. I'm a lawyer by profession. I specialize in real estate law, and I actually started this business when I was in law school, like in class, during the lectures in law school. So really all you need is a laptop, a telephone, and you can be anywhere in the world and you can build out a global business just like this. So VillaBound is an over six-figure business. Our clients include Spotify Top 100. We have over 1,500 properties in over 120 destinations. Okay, so how did I begin this? I started off in the real estate space when I was really young. My mom had a real estate agency, or has one, and I would work in the summers and the Christmas and winter, and I always knew that I wanted to be in the super luxury market. I always knew I wanted to do vacation rentals from like 15 or 16. And one day I got this amazing lead from a celebrity that lives in Barbados, this incredible lead at Christmas time. And I had no experience whatsoever. I was like 19 at the time. And it came through my mom's agency, and realtors hate short-term rentals. Like, it's just too much. It's just too much. I mean, that has been my experience globally. They really do not like vacation rentals. So I was like, Mom, I'll do it. And so I did it. And it was amazing. It totally worked out, and I was like up all hours working on this. And like even when she was there, Christmas Eve, Christmas night, I was answering questions and doing things, and that built up. And every time she came to Barbados, I would work on the rental, and then over time they would recommend me to other celebrities. And now I literally work with the Spotify Top 100 and like super famous athletes, all under different record labels or different entertainment labels. They're all kind of connected. So once you're able to establish trust in the market, you can keep that relationship going for a long time. So also, majorly, you want to have several different streams of income. So when you have a business, having multiple different product types is ideal. So I have a super luxury product type, but I also have like affordable luxury and budget properties in my portfolio. So the affordable and budget properties, like they can rent online in your sleep. You don't have to do anything. You're not negotiating. Once you have everything set, it's kind of set and forget. And the direct bookings come in. Especially for budget. So budget is like $200 to $500 a night, and like Booking.com and Expedia will really take care of that for you, and the bookings will just come in, you'll get their credit card information. All you have to do is do the admin for them and ensure that they have a great stay. Then the affordable luxury might be from like $500 a night to $2,500 a night, and they may need a little bit more attention. So that's where personalized service and everything and that comes in. So how do you create value? And at the very root, at the very foundation, it's service. Service is highly underestimated in this high-tech online world, but it's a service that people will pay for and that there's great demand for. And what I mean by service is love and care and competence. So by love and care, passion, letting your clients know and feel like that they're your only client, and just going above and beyond, getting to know what their needs are and facilitating them in any way you possibly can and ensuring they have a wonderful experience. And then competence. So confidence in this industry and confidence anywhere is really determined by competence. And how do you get competent when you're now beginning? And the key is really to research your market, to research your competitors, to know your product, to as well as you possibly can. And that, like scouring websites, scouring Airbnb, scouring HomeAway, or competitors, like there are large luxury villa rental agencies out there that you can go online and mimic and get to know. Okay, so how do you build a portfolio product? Obviously, we need inventory to sell. I like a distributed approach. So firstly, identify your market, what and who. Like, are you going for a local market? Are you going for a global market? I went for both, and I go for both, and I recommend that. But a local or global, and then exclusive or non-exclusive, or both. I also recommend both. So what do I mean by exclusives? And non-exclusives. So exclusives are properties where you manage the calendar, you manage the chart in its entirety, and no matter when it books or who books it, you're going to get paid on that, and you're going to manage the entire experience with the owner. If you decide to partner it out to other travel agents, then by all means, but you're managing that unit. And exclusives are amazing anchors. So even if you have a small portfolio of exclusive clients, so that's maybe 20 properties that are yours, that really provides a good foundation for a business like this. And then you can leverage the global market or regionally with external partnerships with other agencies or suppliers. So I said what and who. So who? So direct to owner. Of course, you can build partnerships and relationships with owners. How do you find owners? I mean, sometimes owners are trying it themselves and doing a bad job by themselves. You can research what they're doing. You can research their occupancy rates. It's not difficult to look on Airbnb or HomeAway and look at their calendars. If you find that their calendars are really performing poorly and it's a good property, you can absolutely reach out to them and say, hey, is this something I can help you with? Things like you might see, a property that doesn't have professional images, and you can provide professional images, which would make a huge, enormous difference. So professional images, this is just a little note. I reckon if you don't have someone, if you're looking for a regional or global expansion here and you need a professional photographer, Thumbtack.com is a really good source. Okay, so back to delivering value to owners. So the majority of owners who own villa owners or property owners who own the valuable real estate in the locations which are in high demand for tourism and travel are baby boomers. Like, everybody knows this. They own the most valuable real estate. The problem with baby boomers is they're not high tech at all. And they would easily and willingly and do pay a percentage for additional help to give them leverage over the technology space. So you can absolutely assist and offer service to them in that way, and build out a portfolio directly with them. Another amazing way to develop a portfolio is through realtors. So real estate agents really do not like the short-term rental space. And the agency part of that. It's just a lot of work. Remember, realtors are earning huge commissions on large numbers, 5 or 6% on hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars worth of sales, and obviously on short-term rentals, you might have anywhere from a $2,000 to a $20,000 booking, and so commissions aren't the same, and they're just not set up for it, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't partner with them. So realtors have an amazing ability because they're on the ground and they're seeing the new product that's coming in. So obviously, as demand picks up for villa rentals and apartment rentals, you're transitioning from one market to another. So something that may have previously been a long-term rental is just transitioning into a short-term rental. In fact, that's exactly how this industry was built. So having realtors who are able to identify those opportunities and who are going to funnel them to you, and of course you're going to have to incentivize them. I recommend incentivizing them super fairly, so 50-50. That way, competitor is not likely to come and offer more than that. And even if you're doing all the work in terms of the organization of these bookings, you're encouraging them to continue to give you a flow of product which will last you years and years, and in exchange they're earning a passive income from that which they wouldn't have earned before, or they may have earned only 1 month rental or whatever it is on this ongoing commission structure. So offering value to them in that way, in a creative way, is key. So moving on to non-exclusive properties. So this is where you can obtain global leverage, right? And obviously you won't be as hands-on, but you can get contracts with wholesalers, suppliers in the major markets. So I'm from Barbados, and Barbados is an extremely sophisticated market in this space. It's one of the original markets. back in the day when we didn't have the internet, these properties were being advertised in the Times and in magazines, and the level of service and the experience in the Caribbean for villa rentals is really kind of where it all began, and it's unparalleled. There's no other industry that can offer the same, in my findings, and I've been in the space for a very long time, or quite a long time, that can offer that. So these suppliers, you're getting contracts with these suppliers for inventory. In many instances, there's 3 or 4 property management suppliers in each jurisdiction, sometimes less. And they manage maybe 100 properties or 50 properties, and you contract with them to advertise and market their properties. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the payment revenue model for this industry. So typically you're looking at 20% in sophisticated markets, but it can be anywhere from between 10 to 30%. So especially if you're working with travel agents, so travel agents, they're really critically important, and it's important that you incentivize them properly. They're accustomed to earning at least 10% from hotels, so you need to ensure that they're earning at least 10% as well in your deal. So, and when you properly incentivize them, when you have that proper relationship, they'll continue to come back again and again. And yes, you are doing the majority of the work. You're curating the options, you're sending them off to them in a silver platter, and but those clients are valuable, and those relationships are valuable. So that's what you're talking about. 20, 10, mostly it's 20, but it can vary. And just be flexible. Sometimes you have to negotiate. Sometimes the client might need a discount, they just can't. But in order to make the deal, you might have to cut your commission. So be flexible. It all works out in the end. Okay, so this is my favorite lesson. How do you build a portfolio of guests? And the number one is relationships. I can't stress how important relationships are. They're just totally crucial, and they're how I built. The relationships come before the product. I mean, this is your secret sauce, these relationships. When you have the relationships, you can obtain the product. You have a market for your product, right? Your relationships are your market. So how do you bring value to your guests? There's a lot going on in the online direct space. Like we see Expedia, we see Bookings.com. It's a very automated process. But with villa rentals, people are spending more money and more time really allocating to the process of finding the perfect place. So some stats on this: 24% of bookings online are done with human touch. So an email, call, personalization, people have special questions. And then, but this 24% actually makes up 50% of revenue. So service, relationships, it's big business. It's not just online bookings. So although, of course, we utilize the technology to develop those online bookings. So who, right? And direct to guests, baby boomers, right? Baby boomers spend the most amount of money, they travel the most, they have the most amount of time, but they're high maintenance. I mean, that's just a fact. They're high maintenance as villa owners, who you're really taking care of all of their needs in that regard, and they're also high maintenance in terms of booking night. They want to talk to you, they want to hear you, they have questions. Celebrities, of course, they're not booking online. Well, I guess maybe some of them are, but genuinely, when we're working with their team and their people, they want to talk on the phone. They have special questions. They have special requirements. So and these bookings are they can be $20,000 of booking. They can be $200,000. They can be $300,000 of booking. So they require a personal touch. So and also studies have been shown that more and more millennials and Gen X, we're moving back into personal travel agents because we like to be able to email and message and ask for special things and get discounts, which individuals are much more likely to be able to pull off for you than obviously booking online. So another way to gain traction and customers is through travel agents. If this is especially the case in super luxury markets, high income markets, families that travel a lot, they have travel agents, believe it or not. They're not always booking online. And this for me has been some of my secret sauce. So developing high quality relationships with travel agents has been major. So how can you bring value to travel agents? So if we look at the travel agent space and the hotel space is very developed, and commission structures are easy. There's technology that legacy technology that they've been using for decades and decades and decades, and that segment of the market is really down packed. Whereas the villa rental side of things is a lot more fragmented. There's no commission structure. Travel agents just don't have time to deal with that and to source properties that may or may not be available. So you're really doing all of the curation for them and offering the product on a platter, unbranded, to send off to their clients with commission built in, right? So just do everything you possibly can to fortify these relationships with travel agents. How do you build relationships with travel agents? Okay, so there's research. There's actually hundreds of thousands of travel agents out there globally. They're kind of like realtors. And the best way to find them is like LinkedIn, Google. There's like Virtuoso has a ton of travel agents. You can reach out to them directly, let them know what you're doing. Obviously, it's cold calling, but generally you only need to develop a few really good relationships with a few really good travel agents to, have a successful business. Okay, tour management companies. So this is quite advanced. This is what I did as I moved out. In this industry, I developed tour management agencies tour management contracts with airlines. So packaging villas with airlines is an interesting endeavor. Like we do it with hotels, but it's much more difficult to do it with villas because it's a fragmented industry. So you're centralizing your product and the curation of that and offering several tiers of product to an airline or a tour management company. Okay, so I spoke a little bit about travel agents and tour management companies and the relationship required. I mean, these people can build your business, right? They literally are a source of clientele, and you match them up with product, and you have a stream of clientele. If you build that relationship and you integrate it with lots of trust, and they can rely on you to get back to them within a reasonable time frame, usually no more than 24 hours with options for their clients. Remember, it's a very competitive world, so timing is everything. It's of the essence. So for me, I was very, very lucky. I was able to develop travel agent partnerships, and once you have, like I said earlier, once you have the clients, once you have the world is your oyster. You can have all the product in the world, and you can attract all kinds of clients after that. If you're looking to build a global villa rental agency, these contacts, these travel agent contacts, these tour management contacts are integrally important. They give you a broad reach of clientele, and you can build out your portfolio as you go. I'm going to talk more about, as I spoke about suppliers earlier, it's difficult to penetrate the industry if you don't have any clients, right? When you start to develop, when you start bringing clients and deals to these suppliers, and you build a track record, you'll be able to develop, more higher commission contracts, etc. And especially in the super luxury markets, you want to develop a reputation. That's done usually through travel agent contacts and tour management. Okay, so this lesson is about online travel agencies. So online travel agencies, OTAs, channel management, this is all a very automated approach to this industry, and it's very tech driven. So online agencies are like Expedia, Travelocity, CheapOair, Booking.com, Kayak. There's actually over 200 of these that can be worked into your platform, worked into your model to really obtain maximum exposure for your clients. So this is really where your value comes in, because it's difficult for baby boomer real estate owners to manage hundreds of different connections with OTAs and utilize the technology properly to do that. So So these are, mainstream travel, Expedia, and then we have Airbnb and Booking.com. I mean, VRBO, TripAdvisor, which are the home sharing sites. But if you do it properly, and I'm going to explain next in in my technical solution how that is. But basically, you have a platform, which is your website, your own website. And then your own website just links in real time to hundreds in like 32 different languages, different sites. So whether that be Airbnb, the Chinese version of Expedia, Booking.com. This is crucial, because if you can't maintain your calendar, if you can't maintain your booking management, you don't have a business. I mean, it's hugely costly reputationally and financially, because if you get a double booking, Booking.com, Airbnb, they'll charge you, and if it's like a peak, they'll charge you a penalty, and they'll also charge you to replace the booking. And if it's peak season and there's nothing else available and you're stuck, with the W next door at $2,500 a night, you have to. It's prohibitive. So that kind of explains it. But there's hundreds that you can tap into. Okay, so marketing your site, marketing your business. So I discussed relationships, which I think are paramount. It's the basis of everything. It's kind of where everything starts. But also billboarding. Okay, so in the travel industry, the word billboarding is used to describe the process of basically listing on these OTAs, so whether that be Airbnb or Booking.com or any of them, with your logo of your website. And people, everybody's looking for a deal, and they automatically, naturally try to go back to your website to try and book directly. So that's billboarding. Social media is obviously huge. You can use influencers. I've paid influencers to post for us. You can have influencers come and stay in off season and for free in exchange for content. I mean, otherwise, most. So I'm going to say some stats here. Most villa owners, most properties are getting like a 65% occupancy, 60% occupancy rate. Hotels are getting like 85% occupancy rate, and that's because they have a very professional, it's not a do-it-yourself approach. With a villa agency, yes, you can absolutely obtain 85%, because you're utilizing the same tools, the same models that hotels are using. So that's just another way that you're adding value. But anyway, social media, super, super important. Also, you have amazing properties to post. You have amazing, pictures to post. So it's not a difficult sell. Like literally, you're in the middle of winter. Like you're posting exactly what the eyes want to see. Blog posts. This is major. You want to build out content in the jurisdictions that you are working in to start to gain traffic and traction. So whether you're talking about restaurants in the area or markets in the area, whatever it is, but building content around the locations where you are. This is also a really great way for you to get to know your market, because whether you go to the location yourself, just prepare content yourself, you're getting to know the area. And remember, competence and confidence are totally linked, and you want to be confident when you come across on the phone. If they call you and ask you a question about a property, you need to be able to they need to feel that confidence in you, so they feel confident that you're going to take care of them and that you know the property and that they feel confident to book. So Google Ads, I found this is quite difficult and uber costly. Like clicks can be $7 a click. The problem is Booking.com and Expedia are paying $1 million a day on Google AdWords. So it's difficult to compete with those. It's better to offer them a commission. Booking.com, Expedia, they take anywhere from like 10 to 20%, which you can build into your models. PR. So this is a little advanced, but I totally recommend it. It's actually not that difficult to get a feature in like Condé Nast or Travel and Leisure or travel magazines, and that's great for link building. It's great for reputation. You can put those on your website. It builds up credibility, etc. Okay, so admin. So after you finalize the deal, you know, or you have someone who's ready to book your property, you know, admin is super important. Contracts, you need to have a contract for each of your properties. So obviously it's going to be a template, and you can utilize it across all, but you can actually upload your contracts into your booking management system. On larger bookings that might not come through your booking management system, you can send them directly, DocuSign, etc. But it's important that you have these documents on file. Booking forms. So this is what I do. After every single person books, they're automatically sent a booking form with Infusionsoft, and where they enter all of their details, their check-in, check-out, you know, all of their special requirements. And then we utilize that calendar within Infusionsoft to send them updates. So arrival updates, you know, mid-day stay updates, checkout updates, and then reviews, you know, so that you're prompted to, the more automation you can build in from the beginning, the more successful you'll be. Yeah, okay, so contracts. The larger the property, the larger the deal, the more important these contracts are, right? Some of the super luxury properties that I work on, or deals that I work on, it could be $200,000 deals, and the security deposit is $75,000, and that needs to be contracted for. So if we have a celebrity that decides to throw a big party at Coachella, which happens all the time, and it's in a community, and the people next door complain, and they're fined, you know, $10,000 for a noise violation. These things have to be contracted. Okay, so I know that was a lot of information. I just want to go over everything to recap. So I started off the lesson with the business model. How do you make money? How do you create value? Like through service, love, competence. Then we went out to how do you build a portfolio of product inventory? And we went through exclusive and non-exclusive partnerships. We spoke a little bit about the payment and revenue model. We then spoke about how do you build a portfolio of guests, and I stressed how important relationships are, and the different types of relationships that are required to really build out a successful business. We spoke about, and those relationships were with travel agents, those relationships were with tour management companies, really with the travel industry in general. You're building a relationship with the travel industry in general. Online travel agencies, so Expedia, from Expedia to Booking.com, and 130 of them in between. We spoke about marketing your site and all the different ways that I market mine and have marketed mine. The technical solution being the booking management solution. And then the admin, so contracts, booking forms, etc., everything you need to ensure that your business runs smoothly and that guests have a positive experience after they've booked and during the duration of their stay. Okay, so guys, so by now you have everything you need to build out a profitable global villa rental agency. This live coaching is not for everyone. For those of you who might not have as much time, or might be a little bit more advanced, or who might just want to condense the learning process, we do live coaching where we help you build out your agency, high-level network, 120 destinations, industry insights from 10 years of experience, exclusive Facebook group where we'll talk together and do our live streams, contracts. Like I said earlier, I'm a lawyer by profession, so we have some pretty badass contracts that I can share with you, and of course a technical solution. I've lost a lot of money over the years through trial and error on bad technical solutions, so I can totally share the ones that work. Again, this is not for everyone, and this is for those of you who are a little bit more advanced. If you want to sign up, click on the upgrade button below.